Hello, everyone. My name is Michael, and I'll be your teacher for this class on a little introduction on history. Okay, so can we just go around and say your name and your grade, please?
So starting with me, I'm Henry. I'm 6th grade.
Okay.
My name is Annie, and I'm 2nd grade.
Okay. Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Anybody else?
My name is Steve.
Let's just go down the list. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Oops. Let's move that out of the way. This. Sorry, I just have to do some roll call. Okay, so is Olivia Bao here? Olivia? No? Steven, are you here?
Steven. Steven.
You want to introduce yourself and tell us what grade you're in?
Quite it. Grade K, the one. They are 6 years old. I'm Steven.
Little shy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's see. Audrey? Audrey, would you like to introduce yourself? No? No? Too shy? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Neil? Neil? Neil?
We ask you to start. Okay. 你问了能听见你吗？
Hello?
Yep. Hi. Hi, Neil.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Neil, and I am going to be in 3rd grade.
3rd grade. Okay. Let's see. Who's next? Is Michaela. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Grade 1.
Oh, you're grade 1. Okay. Let's see. How about next? Jasper. Could you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Jasper, and I'm going to grade 3.
Okay. Anton? Anton? Okay, I guess he's not here. Okay, let's start. So today we're going to be talking about the history of China. And so the first question I want to ask all of you guys, do you guys know where is China?
No.
No? Let's see. If you guys can, could you maybe you can draw a circle around where you think China is.
It's loading.
That's China?
Here?
让他们看看吧。
Okay.
让他们看看。你到这儿来。
Oh. Okay. Did everybody draw it yet? Everybody point out where they think China is?
你告诉 Michael，
I
你做不
can't
了。
draw because there's like a loading screen on my iPad, like,
Oh,
and it doesn't go away, and it won't let me like draw.
就是那个 loading 的那样子，一直在转。反正 anyway 这儿啊，
okay. So I'll give you guys another minute to think about where China is. And I'll point it out.
Can you hear us, Michael?
Yes.
Oh, so Carissa's here. Okay.
Oh, Carissa, you're here?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't think I saw you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm going to grade 1.
And your name?
My name is Carissa, and I'm going to grade 1.
Okay, nice to meet you, Carissa. So did you circle where China is on the map? Or do you not know?
I know what China is, but I can't draw it.
Oh, there should be an annotate button. Okay. So I see most of you guys have tried to find where China is. Oh. Okay. Yep. So I want to say that you guys are correct. Do you see this thing over here? Let's see. This big purple blob in the west side of the map, or the right side, this is China. And do you guys see kind of the shape of China? What do you think that is?
In the east.
Sorry?
In Asia. In the east.
Yes, but what shape? Do you see a shape of the country?
shirt.
Oh,
Rooster.
Yeah, good job. Who's a rooster?
What? I said rooster.
Yep.
A rooster is a
Carissa.
type of chicken.
Yes, it's a type of, good job, Jasper. It's a type of chicken, and do you think that looks kind of like a chicken?
It looks
Or
like
not?
a chicken with no legs.
Yeah, so,
Ground beef.
so you see there's kind of the chicken, there's the head of the chicken, or they call it the crown of the chicken, or the rooster. And then you got to like the kind of tummy, the stomach part of it, and then the tail. Do you guys kind of see it?
Yeah, the chicken's thick.
Yep. So if we just add chicken feet to it, doesn't it look like a chicken now? Okay. So now you guys know where China is. Let me ask you, what is the first thing you think of if somebody says the word China? I'll call on you, and then you can tell me what you think. Okay, let's start with Steven. Steven, what is the first thing you think of if I said the word China? Sorry?
What do you think when somebody says China?
Yep.
The country.
So what part of China can you think? It could be like a food, a place, anywhere. Yeah,
Okay.
Stephen, I can come back to you. So let's go down. Audrey, do you have any idea? Audrey? No idea? Okay, that's fine. Henry?
The Chinese New Year we celebrate.
Okay, the Chinese New Year. So that's kind of celebrated with like, maybe red packets.
Yeah.
Where like children really like red packets because there is maybe some money in them for you. It represents good luck. And also on Chinese New Year, there might be, what is this?
A dragon? Oh.
It's a firework, right? We might have fireworks on Chinese New Year. Okay, good job, Henry. Let's see, Annie, what do you think of when somebody says China?
Shanghai.
Shanghai. Oh, okay. So you think of Shanghai, a place. So what is special about Shanghai to you?
Disney. There's
Disney.
Disney thing, whatever it's called.
Yes, but do you know a tower that maybe looks like this?
Oh yes, I went there before.
Yeah, so do you know what tower this is?
I don't know the name. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very...
I think it's Mingzhu, I think.
Yeah, I'm not really good at drawing, but this is called the Oriental Pearl Tower. So it's the largest tower in Shanghai, and it used to be a television station. So people would use it to spread radio waves. Okay, good job, Annie. So what else? Carissa?
Shanghai Tower.
Great Wall.
Oh, good pick. Do you know where the Great Wall is?
No.
Oh, okay. Yep. So the Great Wall is just a really long wall in the northern side of China. So let me try to do a picture of the Great Wall. I'm not the best drawer. So there's always these towers, and then they connect all of the... This is the Great Wall. It connects all of the towers together. Yeah.
I think it was used to protect and defend China.
Mm-hmm.
Like barrier.
From the Mongols.
Yes. So that's the Great Wall. Let's go to Michaela. What do you think of when somebody says China? It could be a food, a tradition, a place. Michaela? Do you have any idea? No? Okay, that's fine. That's why we're here to learn about China. Neo?
When I hear the word China, it makes me think of the country.
Oh, the country. So,
The country China.
so maybe that could be represented by, the Chinese flag.
I
With-
just think about food. So
Oh,
yes.
okay. So the Chinese flag. Okay. So then, Neo, if you think when the word China, you think about the country.
Yes. The
Okay.
country China.
Yeah, but what part of China?
The food.
The food. Could you name a food for me that you think you like from China?
Noodles.
Noodles. Okay. Good pick. So the noodles usually come in a bowl, right? And it's usually like this, right? And it's you usually eat it steaming hot. Okay, so let's go on to Jasper. Good job, Neil.
Noodles.
Okay, Jasper, could you, what do you think? What do you think of when somebody says China?
The emperor.
Oh,
of
the
China.
emperor. Okay, the emperor of China, right? So
Yeah.
we can represent that with maybe a crown. Yeah, the emperor of China. Let's draw a stick figure for him.
He looks like a jester.
Sorry?
He looks like a jester.
Oh, emperor of China. Okay, good job. Yep. So you guys have so many different ideas of what China is. We're going to be able to talk through all of these in this week and next week. And then, but today, good job on all of the thinking on what China is. But today, we're going to be focusing on one thing. And that one thing would be, the one thing that we will be focusing on is the Great Wall of China.
Oh, okay.
So let's go to the next screen. So this is the Great Wall of China. Do you guys know anything about it?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right. I've been there
Okay, Henry?
before.
Yeah.
Located
Okay.
in, it's in Beijing, I think. Wait.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's Beijing.
Okay. Good job. Anybody else have any idea?
The Great Wall of China is to protect this country, and it
Okay.
used to be dirt.
Yeah. Okay. Who else has some idea? You can just raise your hand. Oh, Michaela? Could you, oh, no. Who is that? Is that your brother, Michaela? Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he want to talk?
没有什么那个画笔啊。
Okay. Steven, I saw you raise your hand. Do you have some idea of what the Great Wall is? No? It's fine if you don't. Okay. So I guess most of you guys actually don't know what the Great Wall is and like what it is used for. So let's start with the three largest part of the Great Wall. Why, when, and who. So why it was built, when it was built, and who built it. So, okay.
Lots of people work together to build it.
Yeah, definitely. So right now, I'm gonna pull up.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, let's clear that. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys watch about 8-minute video to tell you guys the basics about what the Great Wall is. And after this, you guys have to pay attention because I will be questioning you on what they say in the video. Okay, let's start. Can you guys hear this?
No.
Not now. I can't hear a
No.
thing.
Okay. Sorry. Can you hear something?
No.
No.
No. Okay. Give me a second.
We can't hear anything because the video is paused.
别的人家才能等一会儿。
Can you hear anything?
No. Oh, it's starting?
No，没有，你别着急等。行了。
I can hear it.
No, I can't hear. I can only see.
I can't. I can only see the picture.
Okay. Then give me a second. Sorry. Let me fix that. Okay.
Interesting is that there's not a single wall that's longer than the Great Wall. The Great Wall is the longest wall in the world. And it's the biggest ancient structure ever built. You might be wondering, how big, how long is this thing, okay? The Great Wall of China is over 13,000 miles long. Wow, think of it. A wall that's 13,000 miles long. Now, as the name implies, because it's called the Great Wall of China, the Great Wall of China is in China. And this is the flag, the Chinese flag. And you see it's a red flag. And it's got 5 gold stars, 1 big gold star, and 4 smaller gold stars. This is the flag of the country of China. Now, if you remember, China is in the continent of Asia, right about here, okay? Right about here, if you remember your continents. China is in the continent of Asia, okay? Now, you might be wondering, where in China is this Great Wall? Where is it? Well, we're about to share that with you. Millions and millions of people visit each and every year because it's such a special place. And you're about to find out where, so that if you ever in China, you can say, hey, I know where to go to the wall. I want to see the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is in the northern part of China. On this map, it looks like the entire wall is continuous. The whole thing is connected, but it's not. There are places where there are very high mountains or rivers that form a natural barrier, and so the wall doesn't go over those places, but from a distance, it looks like the wall is one great big wall. Now, this is insane. The Great Wall of China is over 2,300 years old. Now, that doesn't mean every part of the wall is that old, but that's when they started building the Great Wall of China and connecting some of the regional walls that were already there. All right, before we continue, we want to ask you this question to see if you remember. How many miles long is the Great Wall of China? Do you remember? We mentioned it earlier in the video. How many miles long is the Great Wall of China?
13,000.
Yeah, over 13,000 miles. Oh my goodness, over 13,000 miles. Wow.
4 miles.
13,000. All right, let's get back. Here we go. The Great Wall of China, as we said, is over 2,300 years old. To be honest, the history of the Great Wall of China goes back even further than that. From the 8th to the 5th centuries BC, China went through the Warring States period. Whoa! It was called the Warring States period because China was not one country, but instead was made up of multiple states that were fighting all the time. They would fight, they would fight, they would fight. They didn't work together. During this time, leaders built small defensive walls in the north, in the northern part of China, which remember is where the Great Wall of China is today. But then this man came along.
This man.
His name was Qin Shi Huang, and he was the first emperor of China. He brought China together. He unified China.
以前的
Can you say that with me? Qin Shi Huang.
清晰
Oh, come on. You can do better than that, right? Qin Shi Huang. Yeah, that's pretty good. Qin Shi Huang united China and began connecting many of the northern walls to protect China against northern invaders. And that was 2,300 years ago, 2,300 years ago, the start of the Great Wall of China. Now, this map shows the Great Wall of China today. Back then, it was not that long, and also it was made mostly of wood and stone. And when you visit today, you'll see the Great Wall of China is mostly made of brick. Now, most of the wall you see today was built during the Ming Dynasty. The Great Wall of China has been built by millions of people over these 2,300 years. Wow, oh my goodness. The Great Wall of China still fascinates and amazes people every single year that want to visit and just say, wow, how did they build something this magnificent, this huge, with such rich history? It's so cool. And if you ever visit someday, you could say, listen, I know a little bit about this place because I watched the Homeschool Pop video on it. Hey, thanks for watching this video on the Great Wall of China. We hope you had fun. We hope you learned some new things, and we hope you won't stop here.
Okay. Right.
Mommy.
Yep. Let's move back.
哎，没有，终于看见你了。这个打开吗？
Okay. And let me pull up the recording again. Okay. Yeah. So let's get back to where we were.
牛
The
逼！
why, when, and who.
嗯，
So as you guys know, you watched that video, and I hope you guys heard something or learned something from that video. And now I'm going to start testing you guys on what do you think you heard. Okay, so let's start with the why. Does anybody know why they built the Great Wall of China?
To stop invaders.
Oh, Neil, okay. Could you say that again, Neil, please?
八点上。
To stop invaders from getting in.
Oh, good one.
Like especially, I have something to add to it.
Yeah.
Especially northern invaders, like
Oh, so you guys think first it's to stop. Neil said it was to stop invaders, and then Henry added it was to stop northern invaders.
Northern.
Oh.
Yeah, that's correct, because the Great Wall of China, if you guys remember, is located to the north of China. Do you guys know who these group of people are on the screen, or who were invading China at that time?
The Mongols?
Good job, Jasper. Yes, it's the Mongols. They were a group of tribes that lived to the north of China. They really like fighting. They really like to conquer, and then they like to take other people's stuff, steal it and rob it, and take it for themselves. So they tried to invade into China and take China's all of China's most expensive things, like jewelry, even the land, even the crops that the farmers grew. Do you know there's also another reason in the video why they say they built parts of the Great Wall? So this was before Qin Shi Huang actually united the whole wall and made it into one large wall. Do you guys remember what else they used the walls for?
protecting their country.
Yes, but do you know from what?
From fighting.
Yes, that's good. So they also used the wall to protect. This was before China was one country. There were a lot of different states, so a lot of different rulers, a lot of different emperors in China. So they wanted to protect their own land. So there were parts of China that had different people ruling it. That means that not the China as a whole, there wasn't China. It was just a bunch of people fighting each other and trying to gain land. That's why they used parts of the wall before Qin Shi Huang united them. They used part of the wall as barriers to protect themselves against each other, not even from the Mongols. That was before the Mongols. They used to protect themselves from each other. That's this way with the wall. It's thought it kind of makes it a border. Do you guys know what a border is? Yeah, Henry?
Like a wall separating between.
Yeah. So there's like a Canadian US border. There's back then they couldn't draw borders like that. So they had to use actual walls to show borders. Yeah. That was the only way they can separate themselves from different neighboring states. Okay. Good job. Let's move on to the next one. Do you guys remember when it was built?
23,000 years ago.
Oh, good job. 23,000 years ago. Oh, oops. That's 23. Oh,
2,300.
Neo, are you sure? Can you say that again? What did you say? How many years ago? Neo,
Yeah.
how many years ago?
2,300.
There we go. It's not 23,000 years ago. That was way too long ago. I don't think they even had bricks. They couldn't build bricks because that required technology. Yes, Henry?
Could you also say to the fifth to 8th century, like BC centuries ago?
Yes. 5th to 8th BC century. Good job. BC. Okay. So, yeah. So do you guys know what BC means? Any of you guys?
I know.
Okay, Jasper?
Before, no.
Before...
Before centuries.
Oh, that's a good guess. It's not before centuries. Anybody else have a guess? Sorry?
Prices?
No, not before crisis. Oh, you're really close on the crisis, but
Before Christian?
almost. Anybody else?
Before Christ?
Yeah, there we go. Before Christ. So that marks the time before in the Bible when Jesus was born. Because this time, the BC is made by countries in Europe. And Europe's are very religious. So they like to, all of them believed in God. So they believe that the time before Christ, BC, was the olden times. And then, do you know the other part of the other BC is AD? Do you know what that means?
After death.
Close. That could be an interpretation of it after death.
Yeah.
But that's not. Yes?
I think it's after BC. So like BC comes like before.
Yes.
Following.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to teach you some Latin. This AD stands for Anno Domini. This is Latin. Because back then, they didn't have the English language. English language didn't exist back then. But you know what did? Latin. This is Latin. And what it basically means is in the years of Christ. So basically, 0 AD is when Jesus is born. So everything after 0 is in the years of Christ. So it's within the presence of Christ. So Jesus Christ is alive during this time. Yes, Henry.
If you say AD, it's after Christ, why don't we call right now AD? Like, what's the difference between not
Oh.
AD?
So like BC is before Christ. Anno Domini or AD is in the years of Christ. So at 0 is when the Christ is born. So at 1 AD, Jesus Christ is 1 year old. So we still use that until now. So anything after.
Okay.
Yep. So even Jesus died, we count as Anno Domini because that's after his death. Right. So I will. Yep. So good job. You guys knew it was 2,300 years ago. That's a long, long time ago. But do you know what period of China was that? Does anybody know? There's a name of the period.
It starts with the M destiny, like M destiny.
It's called a dynasty. Dynasty basically means the group of people or maybe a family that rules that country. So anybody know which dynasty it was?
Ming? I'm not sure. I'm guessing.
Oh, that's a great guess. Ming Dynasty. Anybody else? Anybody else want to speak up? Okay, so yeah, Ming Dynasty is correct. That is most of the wall you see currently because a lot of the walls, they don't last for that long. So walls that you see maybe in Beijing right now all come from the Ming Dynasty. But the old wall, the Great Wall, was actually from the Qin Dynasty. Yeah, okay. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next slide. Do you remember who built the Great Wall?
Conchai who? Conchai
Emperor Qing.
Yeah. Do you know his full name?
Queen.
Sorry?
It's Queen Shi something.
Oh, good. Qin Shi and anybody know?
Wang.
Ming.
Huang. Oh, good job. That is actually not his real name, but it's what people call him because it basically means in China, it's written like this. This basically, what this means in Chinese is that Shi Huang means like he's the first emperor of China. Because before that, there wasn't actually China. It was a bunch of people fighting around for power. So Qin is the first person to actually make the unify and make the idea. So people didn't know what China is before that. He put the idea of China in people. Good. But Qin wasn't the guy actually putting the bricks on the walls. So do you guys remember in the video?
It's millions of people. So like
yes, there were millions of people building it because it was so long. But does any of you guys remember from the video, what type of people were they? Were they commoners, construction workers, people from other countries? Were they paid? Or what happened?
Is it their own people? Like, are they using their own people?
Yeah, they could not be. So do you remember from the video?
Not quite. I just remember there was millions of people working together.
Okay. Anybody? Does anybody remember? No? Okay, I'll tell you. So they usually used commoners. Commoners means like people every day. So every day. So you and I, we're commoners back then. So what that meant was that because they needed a lot of people, commoners were forced to work on the wall because they needed a lot of manpower to finish the wall. But the other ones, so commoners, but they didn't pay them well because when the king asks you to do something, you can't really say no. So commoners were used, but another large part of the workforce were what they call slaves. So you guys might know from U.S. history that there were a lot of African Americans in the U.S. That were used as slaves. So they weren't paid. They were forced to work against their will. So Qin Shi Huang also used a lot of slaves, especially from other countries. People such as Mongols, or maybe people that didn't want to listen to him. He would enslave them, so make them into slaves and force them to work on the wall. This way he can just not pay the people and get more people working on the wall for him. It's a really cruel kind of act, but everybody did it back then, and it was the only way you can get such a large project done.
I think it's kind of brutal to do that.
It is. It's very brutal, but well, back then everybody was killing each other, so they didn't think of it as brutal. Yeah. Okay. So, I want to ask, do you know what else? Because we are knowing right now that the Qin dynasty was the first dynasty to unify China. Do you know what unify means?
To collaborate, like put all the.
Oh, okay. To collaborate.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to like pitch in on that?
What is unify?
Anybody want to talk? Anybody want to say something?
Oh, to work together, maybe to work.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
To work.
Okay, yeah, that's basically it. So when he unifies China, he's making everybody collaborate with each other and they work so they can form one country. Because before that, China was split. There were a lot of people trying to rule China, but Qin Shi Huang came in and made it so that only one person would rule the whole country. This way, everybody can be under one person's rule, and it can make the country much better and safer. Yeah. So, do you guys have any idea what other things that the Qin Shi Huang did during his lifetime?
No.
No? Anybody? No. Okay. So let's go on to the next slide and I'll show you. So let's look on the left side. Can you guys guess what that is?
Is that coin?
If you guys can raise your hands.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Annie.
Is that like a printer, like the printer right there?
Oh, it's close. So there's a part of what they call printing, yes, but that's not completely true. Anybody else? They could raise their hands. Henry.
Were they coins for trading each other so that they could buy stuff, or?
Yeah, good. Yeah, so basically, what the other thing that Qin Shi Huang did was that he created a currency for China. So, you guys know what currency is, right? Yeah. Currency is money. So you guys have, like in Canada, we have the Canadian dollar bills, we have the coins. But back then, they have these coins. Oh. So these coins are actually not like the coins we have right now. These coins are made out of bronze. So they're made out of a precious metal. What they used, so before they had these kind of coins, they used to trade each other. So does any of you guys play Pokemon? Pokemon
No.
trading cards?
I hate
No. Yes. So some of you guys say yes. So you know what like Pokemon trading is, or maybe at school you would trade your friends for stuff. So like in Pokemon, you'll give them a card and they'll give you a card back. That was like in real life in ancient China. So what they did was that, oh, I have some sheep in my farm, but you have cows in your farm. So what we will do is I'll give you one sheep for one of your cows, and they would be trading like that. But what Qin Shi Huang did was that instead of trading, he made something called currency, so money. So instead of paying each other with whatever I have, I can pay them using this currency, this money. Especially, it's hard if you want to trade a lot of cows, you know? You don't want to like drag your cows over to trade with the other person. So this is an easier way to do it. Yes, Henry?
So I have one question. I think you mentioned coins, but is there any values? Like, are they all the same value or are they different values?
Back then they didn't know about like you should have different value coins, but of course they had, instead of like what you think, because right now you guys know there's like dollar bills with like, you know, $5 on them. You can have $20 bills, right? But back then they all had the same kind of coin, but instead it was defined, so how much the coin is worth, it depends on what is written on them and what type of a material they were made out of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so some of them were made out of something called bronze, silver, and the most famous is gold coins. So the gold will be worth more than silver, and the silver will be worth more than bronze.
Okay.
And what Qin Shi Huang did is that he made sure that all China used one system for money, so everybody can can sell things and buy things on the same rate. So everybody is so what he did basically was that he made buying and selling things fair. So everybody used one type of coins. You got that, everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good job. So on the right side, can you guess what that is? Would anybody like to guess? Steven or... Oh, do you have a guess, Steven? You can just throw anything out there. What do you think it looks like?
A picture.
Oh, Jasper says, yeah, it is a picture, but what is in the picture, do you think? What did these things represent? Annie?
Pictures, like
Oh, so you think they're individual pictures?
no, I mean like the picture for the coins.
Oh, okay. For coins. Okay, that's what yeah. Okay, that's a good guess. But do you know what they represent? Why is there like these type of kind of, I guess, characters? What do they represent? Anybody? Oh, Steven, do you have something?
Chinese characters?
Chinese characters?
Yes.
Okay. Henry?
I think it represents like different types of like states, like their names maybe.
Oh, ooh, a very creative guess. States. So yeah, because I said that there were different states in China. Maybe they represent the different names of the states. Okay. Does anybody else have a guess? No? Okay, that's fine. I can tell you right now that the different types of characters you see here is Stephen is correct. It's Chinese characters. Yeah. So what they basically did, so what the other thing that Qin Shi Huang did is that he made all of China learn one type of language or Chinese characters. So we use that word again, the word unify. So what he did was he basically unified language. So he made all of China speak one language.
Mandarin?
Oh no, they didn't have Mandarin back then.
Oh.
It was a different type of language, but right now a lot of scientists are trying to find out what that language is, especially through these. These are ancient writings of Chinese. Yeah, so these are ancient Chinese writings. So they represent like how Chinese words are right now. So each box of a character means something different. Yeah, so this was ancient Chinese. And what Qin Shi Huang did was that before Qin, there was a lot of different types of Chinese. So not everybody spoke the same language. Like it was kind of like somebody was speaking French, somebody was speaking English, and another part of the country was speaking Spanish. So nobody knew what everybody was talking about because there was some difference in the language, right? So what Qin did was that he helped China create a single language. It was the first Chinese, or like Chinese as you know it. It was the first type of it. Yeah. So he created a new language, made it a character, made it into a language. And then after that, everybody in China learned the same language and learned to write the same type of words. And whoever said, I think it was Annie, you said it was the pictures for the coins?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you were correct. So these things on the coins are Chinese characters. They represented how much the coins were worth and kind of the date when it was printed. Yeah, so you were correct too. Not these words specifically, but the things on the coins were a marking of how much they were worth and the year when they were printed using kind of these molds. Okay, yeah. So these are the largest creations of Qin Shi Huang, and so I want to try to go through them again, one by one for you guys. And pick a different color. Okay, so what did we learn? He built the Great Wall. Does anybody else know what else they learned? Can we go? Audrey, do you know? Do you remember what he learned? What he built?
Great Wall.
Oh, Henry.
Everything I learned is about Queen Shi Huang, like how he unified the word unified and how he China unified
Yeah.
language and currency.
Mm-hmm. Currency and remember language.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the points we learned about today. I hope you guys remember something from this. And yeah. So maybe in your spare time, you guys want to ask maybe your parents, maybe a picture of Great Wall, and maybe you can try to draw it because it's such a beautiful place to visit. And I encourage you guys, if you guys ever go back to China after the pandemic, you guys go visit the Great Wall.
I have one more question.
Sure, Henry.
When is our next class?
Our next class is next week.
Next week, when again?
Same time.
Same time. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess that's the end of the class today. I hope you guys find it enjoying and you guys actually learned something out of it. So if there isn't any more questions, I'll see you guys next week. If you guys have anything to ask me, you can stay behind and I'll try to answer any questions you have or anything else you want to learn. Okay. Bye guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Michael.
See you guys next week.
Thank you, Michael. Steven.
Have a great week.